All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV. As you can see from the title, this is about Jada Pinket Smith and why all the attention and drama toward Jada when Will ain't even said nothing. But you have a lot of these men on YouTube speaking in behalf of Will Smith when Will Smith hasn't said nothing himself. And first of all, I'm going to do a reaction to several of these guys. And I want you to really think about their perspective and their narrative. I'm going to start with Dr. Umar. I want you to hear what Dr. Umar finna say. This for fair use, commentary, educational purposes. Listen to Umar.
My beautiful African queen from Baltimore. Shout out to my Baltimore Africans. Shout out to I will be coming to Baltimore soon. Shout out to my Baltimore. Travis Hunter just came back from an injury. You got to give him some time to work himself back in. He scored a touchdown. He also stopped a lot of good passes. I like Travis Hunt. Wait a minute. I like him as an athlete, but I do believe Travis is bunny hopping. And Travis, if you're listening to your big brother King Kong consciousness, please stop bunny hopping, my brother. She's taking away your melanin energy. She's taking away all of your melanin energy, my brother. Travis, you have to stop bunny hopping, my brother. She's taking your melanin juices out of you, my good brother. Now, let me talk to Jada Pinket Smith. Let
me stop right here. I want y'all to listen closely with the good doctor. I want y'all to just process where he coming from and listen to his dialogue. Because if you're familiar with Dr. Umar, you're going to know that halfway through his conversation, it's going to be about thighs, butts, the whole nine. So let's check him out.
Jada Pinket Smith, I am so tired of you embarrassing my brother Will Smith. Miss Jada Pinket Smith, I am so tired of you embarrassing my brother Will Smith. Every time you get in front of a TV, you got to do some disrespectful shit that is unbecoming of a wife. The things you say out of your mouth, Sister Jada. The things you say out of your mouth, Sister Jada Pinket Smith, I don't think they need to be said. You already had my man go up there and smack the dog shit out of Chris Rock. You already had my man go up there and smack the dog shit out of Chris Rock, which caused him to be suspended from the Oscars for about a year. Not that we care, because when Queen Mother Ancestor Hattie McDaniel won an Oscar, when Queen Mother Ancestor Hattie McDaniel won an Oscar, when Queen Mother Ancestor Hattie McDaniel won an Oscar, she couldn't even come out front to receive her Oscar. I think they brought the Oscar to her backstage. So I don't give a damn about no Academy of Coons Awards. I don't care nothing about the Academy of Coon Awards. I want to make sure we understand that. I could give a damn about the Academy of Coons Awards. Let's just be very clear. That damn statue is the statue of a slave master. So I'm not concerned about that. But you could have diffused that situation a little bit better. Now you turning around telling the world that Chris Rock wanted to clap your flat ass cheeks. First of all, Jada, no disrespect, because you're.
Now, I'm going to stop right there. First of all, Dr. Umar, she never said that Chris Rock wanted to clap her cheeks. She said that he asked her out when he found out they was going through a divorce. She said they wasn't getting divorced and he apologized. Nobody said anything about clapping cheeks. See, this is Dr. Umar mind. That's why I like to show you his mind. And then he's a doctor. He's supposed to be one of y'all social leaders, social constructors, or social engineers. Listen to this guy's mind. Now, if y'all been following the story, y'all know Jada Smith never said anything about somebody trying to clap her cheek. And then he called her cheeks flat. So he's a cheek inspector right here.
Beautiful woman in the face. But you ain't got no body. You ain't 5'5", thick in the thighs by no stretch of any man's imagination. Now, if Chris Rock told you he wanted to clap your cheeks as a get back at, and Chris Rock, you was out of line for doing that, but I can understand Will Smith embarrassed you, so you want to get him back by clapping his wife's cheeks. I understand. But Jada, what did you do in response to Chris Rock asking to clap your cheeks? Why did Chris Rock feel so comfortable to ask you if he could clap your cheeks? See, when a woman comes to you, black fellas, I hope my brothers is listening to me. I help my brother. I hope all my African alpha males. I want to.
First of all, I don't know why nobody calling this Negro. Would he just get on and just say all kind of things? Like, she never said that he wanted to clap her cheeks. And this is the guy that wanted to teach y'all sons and have an all-boys school. Let me take a page out of his book. When they gonna open that school, Dr. Umar? When they gonna open that school, Dr. Umar? When they gonna open that school, Dr. Umar?
Oh,
Fact: 1.2 million Americans have a legal right to a $5 billion government.
You got to say it 3 times like he do.
all my unapologetically African alpha males to listen to your big brother, Dr. Umar, right now. I want all of my anti-Snow Bunny, unapologetically African alpha males. I want you to check into your big brother, Notorious RBG, one time. If your woman ever come home saying that a man solicited sex from her in a very private manner, not vulgar, not boisterous, not out loud, not disrespectful. If a man pulled your woman to the side and solicited sex from your woman, you got to be a little suspicious. If a man pulls your woman to the side and solicits sex from your queen, you got to be a little suspicious. If a man pulled your wife to the side and solicited sexual relations with your woman, you got to be a little suspicious. What did she do to make him so comfortable, feeling like he can make it advance? What did she do that made him so comfortable?
Again, she never said he solicited sex. She never said none of what Umar's talking about. So, Umar, when is that school gonna open? Umar, when is that school gonna open? Umar, when is that school gonna open? Umar, what did you do with the money for the school? Umar, what did you do with the money from the school? Umar, what did you do with the money from the school? You gotta say it 3 times like him.
That he felt like he could make a sexual advance. Is this not suspicious? Is this not suspicious? Is this not suspicious? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I give Chris Rock a little bit too much credit. I don't think Chris Rock asked Jada if he could clap those flat lemonade cheeks. I don't think he did that. I don't think he did that. I do not think Chris Rock asked Jada if he could clap those flat cheeks of hers. I don't think he did. But why announce that to the world? Why stir up this conflict again between a man you claim you love and his nemesis? You got on TV and told the world sitting next to your husband that you had sex with your son's friend. Why did you feel the need to go on national television, sitting next to your son, next to your husband, and tell the world you slept with your son's friend? And that's not enough. Now you telling everybody that Tupac proposed to you while he was in prison. Now, Jada, everybody know you and Tupac were soulmates. Y'all should have gotten married. He probably wasn't ready to settle down at the time. You were more focused on your career. He wanted to be a thug. You wasn't feeling it. I understand. We all know you and Tupac have a history. I understand it. But if Tupac Shakur, my greatest rapper of all time, If Tupac Shakur, my greatest rapper of all time, if Tupac Shakur proposed to you in prison, Jada, he might have. I don't believe it's impossible that he could have proposed to you. But what I do find impossible is you waiting 25 years to tell the world that Tupac proposed to you. Are you trying to get Will Smith to divorce you so you can take half of his fortune and just separate from Will and do your own thing? I'm kind of getting the feeling, Sister Jada. I'm kind of getting the feeling, Sister Jada. I'm kind of getting the feeling, Sister Jada, that you want Will to divorce you, but you don't want to ask for the divorce. You need it to be initiated by Will.
All right, enough of this one. Clearly, I don't see why people still listen to him as authority on black culture and what's going on with black people. Let's go to another one that's so outraged at Jada Smith. We're going to go to Stephen A. Smith. He ain't never cared nothing about black people. Y'all need to tag Kwame Brown to deal with this one.
Stop paying for groceries. There's a new $1,400 subsidy available for Americans who make less than $50,000.
Jada Pinket Smith is making news. She's making news because she's out on the circuit, media circuit, promoting her new book, Worthy. That's the title of her new book. We'll talk about that title a little bit later. Worthy.
This time
it's coming out October 17th. And of course, in it, she's dropping a few bombshells, of course. Former Red Table Talk host reveals that she and Will Smith have been living completely separate lives since 2016. That's over 7 years ago. And at this moment, the two of them are still legally married, but are no longer romantically together and haven't been for a very, very long time. On the relationship's demise, she says, why it fractured, that's a lot of things. By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of just still stuck in our fantasy, what we thought the other person should be. But they didn't get divorced because she said, I made a promise that there would never be a reason for us to get a divorce when they first got married. You know, they've been married since 1997. She said, we will work through whatever. I just haven't been able to break that promise. Of course, knowing that her husband slapped the living shit out of Chris Rock on national television, global television, because the Oscars were watched everywhere, she had to bring up Chris Rock, of course. And instead, did we hear an apology? Did we hear anything? No, we haven't heard that. What we heard was that she originally thought Will slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars was a skit, that it wasn't real. She didn't know it was real when she saw Chris Rock's face do damn near 180. When she saw her man's imprints on his left jaw, she thought it was a skit. When she heard that loud ass slap and the audience be aghast, oh no. She thought it was a skit. I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. And of course, last but not least, she had to drop dime, as they say, on Chris Rock, claiming he asked her out for a date. He asked her out on a date, explaining, I think every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. This particular summer, Chris, he thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and basically was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. I'm qualified to have this conversation. I did write a memoir, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes, New York Times bestseller. By the way, once you're a New York Times bestseller, you are one forever. That is the creme de la creme of being an author. And I am a New York Times bestseller. So I kind of understand. But that's not the subject that I'm at right now. You see, I have to confess to you that being a Christian, loving God, certainly not fully enmeshed.
Now I want y'all to listen to this Tom that was ruining them young brothers' contracts when he was going to them colleges and schools, when them young guys was coming to college and getting drafted. You should go and see Kwame Brown when he break this down. It's like he on here for clicks and views, and like he cares so much about Will Smith. And I'm asking, like, Will Smith ain't said nothing himself about this. Why are these men on YouTube so outraged and so angry with Jada about what she's saying about Will? I mean, like, Will wasn't no Malcolm X. Will Smith ain't no body that ever stood and stand for black people or represented black people like that. He Hollywood. He Hollywood. Y'all remember 5 degrees worth 5 degrees of separation? How he got the Grammy for best rapper with uh parents just don't understand. I mean, why y'all so mad at Jada? I don't get it.
In spirituality, the way that I should be. I'm a spiritual individual. I pray every morning. I pray every night. I
So
know
what?
there's a higher being, that there's a heavenly Father watching over me. But let's just say I'm trying to get to where he wants me to go. I'm just not there yet.
Just stop being a Tom though.
But when it comes to forgiveness, I'm usually that dude. People cross me, don't even have to apologize. They just can come up to me and say, hey, man, can we just squash this? Let bygones be bygones. I'm good, man. Peace is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Ain't no reason to have all this animosity towards everybody and all this other stuff. Really no need for it. But I'm going to say this. It's pretty hard for me to forgive Will Smith. It's not my place. My forgiveness doesn't matter, as does most of ours. Here's what I mean. And if Will Smith is listening, I hope he hears me when I say this. Will Smith, we know you're a good brother. Your body of work speaks for itself, not just as an actor, an artist, etc., but as a humanitarian. Your heart's in the right place. We know that.
How we know that?
And to engage in condemnation about Will Smith as a person into perpetuity would be wrong and cruel. But what I think you have to respect, Will Smith, is that it's pretty hard for any black man, any black person, but especially any black man. And I'm not saying that white folks shouldn't be appalled either, like Jim Carrey spoke out against them along with various others. And I agree with Jim Carrey. I might have had him arrested. I wouldn't have had him arrested. I would have tried to whip his ass. But somebody else, I can understand how they would have wanted to have him arrested. They definitely would have sued him for hundreds of millions of dollars. I get that. Me personally, I would have tried to handle it differently, just in terms of an initial instantaneous reaction. But I would say this. Will Smith, you slapped a black man on national television. A man that's 50, 60 pounds lighter than you. I don't believe you would have done that to 50 Cent. I don't believe you would have done that to Michael J. White. I don't believe you would have done that to Snoop Dogg. I don't believe you would have done that to Dwayne Rock Johnson. And I don't believe you would have done it to anyone white. I don't believe it. You did it to him. And let's analyze for a second the damage that Will Smith did to himself and to his name. How about the fact that Will Packer was the first black man to produce the Oscars, the Academy Awards? And that was the moment we all walked away with. As tremendous of a job as he did, you stole that moment from him. You stole that moment from him. How about you stole it or you compromise the great Antoine Fuqua. He did direct and produce Emancipation. I believe we'd have been back up on that stage celebrating Will Smith potentially winning back-to-back Oscars for his performance in Emancipation, because he was tremendous in that. We couldn't celebrate him because fools in Hollywood stood up and gave him a standing ovation when he finally was rewarded with the Oscars minutes after slapping Chris Rock on national television. And to sit up there and say you reached out to Chris Rock and when he's ready to talk, come on, bro. It requires more due diligence than that. It really, really does. But having said all of that, let me tell y'all what Will Smith does not deserve. He does not deserve what Jada Pinket Smith has done to him. Now, I know people very, very close to Jada Pinket Smith. And I am not going to utter a disrespectful word about her. That's not where I'm going. It's deeper than that. There are a few questions that Jada Pinket Smith deserves to be asked to her. Where's your compassion? Where's your decency? Where is your respect?
Is it just me, or do these Negroes seem madder at Jada than Will is? And if so, why? And then this time in Umar, this got to be for clicks and views in the YouTube streets. This can't be real content, because these guys here is too disingenuous. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely don't like Stephen A. Smith, and I genuinely don't like Umar and Boyce when I put him on there. So clearly, I'm on what I'm on. You know what I mean? By showing the public exactly who these guys is and what they talk about. You know what I mean? They talking in a manner that's really a gender politic, incel manosphere type of stuff about Jada Smith. But they really don't care. Like, they don't care. Like, who cares? Will ain't said nothing. Who is Will? I keep telling you, it's like Will Smith was like Malcolm X, or he did something for black people that I don't know about. Like, why is it so concerned? You know what I mean? Because it's just another distraction. Because ain't nobody talking about we're on the brink of World War III. About how these gas prices and food prices are finna be in the black community. Our real problems. We want to sit up and gossip about what's going on in Hollywood. Let's listen to him. I know he's trying to build this channel, though.
For a man you still acknowledge is your husband. Where is the respect for a man you walked down the aisle with and pledged your life to in 1997? For better or worse, through rich, through poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. It wasn't just talking about staying married. It talked about honoring those vows, at least to some degree. Where's all that? Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Well, let us count the ways. Jada Pinket Smith. What's the dude's name? August? What the hell is his name? I don't know who he is. I know he was the friend of your son, who's 21 years younger than you. What you do is your business. Any woman out there that wants to be a cougar with a dude of legal age, that is your business. But the operative words are your business. Did you have to go and tell everybody?
Like, you
go ahead and do it. Why everybody had to know? Why?
Why are you repeating it?
Why did everybody have to know? You didn't tell them what you did when you were doing it. You didn't give them those details. Wasn't no porn movie. Wasn't no X-rated movie. It was nothing. Why? Because it's none of our business. So why talk about it? Keep it to yourself. And you keep it to yourself not just because it's yourself, because it's a man who loves you, who married you. He deserved that?
Enough of this line. I'm just saying, they awful mad for Will, and Will ain't said nothing. Will ain't came out and said nothing. Now let's go to this other joker, Boyce Watkins. He trying to give advice on relationships, and the one that he in is really ridiculous. He talking about them and his wife in a relationship is suspect. Here it states, Will Smith fans are livid that Jada is still his wife. Man, we worried. What's up with you and yours?
Must be my lucky day.
Your goofy
I was
wife.
in the neighborhood and look who I see. Trying to promote a book.
Okay, first, watch how many times Boyce Watkins say he a doctor and how many times he tried to sell you something. And do the history on his wife and his situation. Listen to him though. This Boyce Watkins, this is doctor. These is your doctors, your finance majors, the people that tell you where to invest and want to take you to Africa.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. And I see Minister Schultz is already here waiting. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So anyway, guys, my wife and I are here against our pillows. How you doing, babe?
I'm doing all right. Aw, you give me smooches.
Yep.
Aw,
Mwah.
glad to give you smooches.
Well, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way,
This shit's sickening.
if y'all love this podcast, or even if you don't love it, and you just kind of like it, you can actually find it on Apple and Spotify. So if you go to Apple or Spotify, look up Boyce Watkins, you'll see it's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, but I put all of our pillow talks there for those of you that want to check it out. All right, so let's get started with tonight's topic, shall we? Oh man, Will and Jada. So right now, I don't know if you guys have followed this. I assume you've been following this. Jada's been on this. Anybody remember Sherman's March?
Wait,
Remember Sherman's March and
is
with the
that
Civil War?
dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun, dun, dun,
no.
Okay, what is
Sherman's
that?
March was when he went down south and burned.
Now, did y'all just see how dumb his wife is? He asked her, did she remember Sherman's March? And that's during Civil War when General Sherman marched through the South and things of that nature. She went talking about dun. These are your doctors. These some goofy people. Listen.
Burned everything in his sight.
No, you didn't say that.
That's what Jada Pinkett's media tour. She's got this new book coming out. I ain't gonna buy the book just out of protest because I do not like it. You out here just embarrassing your husband, and it ain't right. It ain't fair.
Did she give Will Smith permission before she went, or is she going rogue?
I don't think any normal person would say, "I want you to go out and destroy."
Again, you see the narrative. She embarrassed Will Smith, they saying, and these people is outraged, but Will Smith hasn't said anything. Something wrong with this picture.
For everything I worked for the last 25 years. I mean, it's like it's really a couple a notch or two above like watching when we had to watch the destruction of Bill Cosby. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as Cosby, but it's like you go from this having this scenario where you have a person who has one of the most perfect brands that you can have. I mean, Will was so smooth with it that white people loved him. You know, I can't be that smooth.
He was very
And
unthreatening.
he was the man for the most part, and I still admire him immensely. But this is just chaotic. Anyway, can you guys hear us? Let us know if you can hear us. Give us a quick audio check. Give us a quick yes if you can hear us in the chat. You're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. And I want to make sure that the audio's good. I forgot to greet you all as you came in. And you can shout out your city. Let me know what city you're from. Aunt Fresh, I see you. Minister Schultz, Robert C. Letitia Pearson says, I'm upset with Jada too. Tupac was most of our soulmate. Okay. Let's see. My name is Corey. William Sheila says, I'm not going to buy it either. She's too much. Yeah, you know what I think? She's trying to sell that damn book.
Why?
Why?
Why? She has everything. This is the thing. Like, I think this is what, like,
The same reason y'all always trying to sell them cheap ass books that y'all got.
I'm starting to come to. It's like you have everything that money can buy, but you don't have love and intimacy. And I think that's like the biggest lesson that we're learning today.
Y'all
These
don't
are
even
like successfully famous people who just are coming across as very lonely and depressed.
Yeah, I mean they're right up there with Jay-Z, Beyonce, a notch right there with Michelle Barack. You know, just in terms of these.
I want y'all to remember, this is doctors, finance majors, and all of this. And look at where they mental is. Look where they mental is. As if people haven't for the last several months been taking pot shots at they whatever you want to call marriage. She curved him for 30 years.
These couples that just really had this level of mystique and esteem, and it's like kind of crazy to watch her go rogue in these interviews. And I'm gonna tell you, so you and I were sitting around, and we were, you know, and I know you're. By the way, my wife is a relationship therapist, so she's intrigued by this kind of stuff. And you had sent me that latest interview that Jada did, where she was basically saying she was surprised that referred to her as his wife.
I'm surprised she said this out loud. I mean, I think what she's saying is that their marriage is a sham.
Just like yours.
I think so. I get
their
that
marriage
sense.
is a sham. And you know what's sad is, like, I think about, like, remember that song with Alicia Keys, Unbreakable? Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
I mean, she makes reference to not only Bill Cosby, Bill and Camille. She also makes reference to Will and Jada. You don't even need to say their last name. You already know who you're talking about.
Oh, in the Alicia Keys song, she sings about Will and Jada.
Unbreakable. Remember that song?
I don't know the lyrics. I don't listen to it.
You don't listen to R&B music, do you?
No, I just listen to ratchet hip hop.
Listen to Boyce Watkins sounding like a straight broad. Look, listen to him. Listen to his voice. A pander bear. Listen to the pander bear.
No, you don't. You listen. Let me tell y'all.
Me and Lil Yachty.
Can I tell wait, let me get your permission first. Can I please get your permission to tell everybody what kind of music you like?
What's my favorite music?
You like 90s rap music.
I do. That is so true. I do. Shout out to Spice One.
Oh my God.
The greatest poet in the history of
Why
hip-hop.
didn't you even bring it up? Now that I brought it up, I know I'm going to be happy to listen to it.
E40. Those are my guys. And then when I became friends with Ice Cube, I had to like hold it in.
My God.
Because he doesn't know how much time I spent listening to his music back in the day. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, so with this Will and Jada thing, here's what got us talking about this. Because you guys know my wife's a relationship therapist. And really? I went to Will's Instagram page out of curiosity just to see, you know, what's Will saying? How's he responding to this? And Will has not posted on Instagram for 8 days. He hasn't posted for over a week. And in the comment, but
this nigga is checking for Will's post every day, so he can run to the internet and be the first to say Will said this or Will said that. But mind you, this is his doctor. This is Boyce. He's supposed to be a finance major. And with all this stuff going on in the black community, this distraction, this cognitive dissonance about the real plight of black people is enshrouded with gossip and fanfare about Hollywood elites. And we wonder why our communities is in trouble. You know what I mean? You really got to ask yourself, at this point, who cares about what's going on with Will and Jada? I'm saying, y'all ain't got no relationships, no wives, no girlfriends, no kids, no other stuff that should have your attention. other than this, I'm saying I'm doing a reaction because I want you to see these people, because they'll be trying to sell you something in a minute. They'll be trying to take you to Africa. They'll be trying to do something else. But you have to see how goofy they really are. And I know they got their followers. It's gonna be some of their trolls gonna be, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What I'm not doing is having an emotional response and reaction to what's going on with Will and Jada Smith in Hollywood. I don't got no time for that. I wasn't even gonna comment on this until I seen Umar and seen them. When I seen these jokers here, got to get you to pay attention to them. Because they was wrong with our people. This is why our people can't rise. These people parade themselves in front of you as leaders, as people that you should listen to, but at their base essence, chatty patty, gossiping, doing everything everybody else doing on YouTube for clicks and views. No real content, period. At this point, how could this be content? And listen to Boyce, he got the nerve to be talking about somebody's relationship.
The comments.
Yeah, but somebody needs to check up on Will. Clearly, Jada ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to check in on him, make sure he's good.
What do they call the wellness check?
So I'm gonna make a wellness check because
Yeah,
I'll make a wellness check on you.
Yeah. I think I feel bad also because I feel not a connection.
This relationship therapist and Dr. Boyce, they feel bad, but it seems like to me they laughing and giggling, and it's funny to them. It's funny to them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end on that note. Sign out of Detroit. Peace. Y'all keep your head on swivel. Pay attention for real.